Welcome to 10-Minute Tech Talks. Think of this as your mini masterclass if you're looking to scale super fast. I'm your host. I'm Jonathan Kersting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council. If you're a regular listener to this show, you always know I'm touting how for nearly 30 years I've been interviewing the absolute coolest people in Pittsburgh's tech industry, just gleaning their insights, their knowledge, and bringing it to you to help you scale your company. And every once in a while, I get to interview some really cool people and people of some pretty high stature. And that was just the case the other day. And after my TechVibe interview with the Consul General of Canada, Tom Clark, I thought I got to bring this to our listeners on 10-Minute Tech Talks because he's really easing my fears about the whole tariff dispute we have with Canada. I think everybody out there, we're all worried about all these tariffs going on, but especially with our friends to the north in Canada. I mean, just join the club if you're freaking out with me on this one. But after talking with Tom, I'm kind of realizing that we know we're going to get through this. And we're always going to have an awesome friend up north. And when you look at how important they are to our economy, it's pretty amazing. I mean, just in Pittsburgh alone, Canada buys $1.3 billion of our goods. I mean, you're talking about a lot of money, and that's a lot of businesses relying on having an awesome trade relationship. So I brought out 3 takeaways from my interview with Tom. And of course, if you want to listen to the entire interview, I'm putting a link to it in the liner notes here. But if you keep on listening, you're going to learn about the power and strength of us being trading partners, how us being strong trading partners creates a North America that is just like ready to do great and amazing things. You can learn more about his thoughts on what these tariffs are doing right now. And of course, last but not least, he's going to tell us why Canada is not for sale. Oh my goodness. Like I said, there's a lot of levity to some of this conversation because some of it is kind of nuts and crazy. But at the end of the day, it left me feeling very positive for the future. There's just a lot of BS for us to get through. So let's jump into the conversation right now. We'll kick it off with Tom telling us how if Canada and the United States can come together, we can make North America awesome.
Figure out what we can do together that will make North America the powerhouse of the world. And we can do that. We're so close to being able to do that now. Let's get rid of the impediments. Let's get to business. Let's
make it happen and create some wealth, create some innovation, and get stuff going for crying out loud. Exactly.
And you take a look at Pittsburgh and you take a look at the level of entrepreneurship that's happening in Pittsburgh right now. This is world-class stuff that's happening here. We can be part of that. We can add to that. We can grow that through what we've got. So the spirit is there. The knowledge is there. The people are there. But we're not there.
But the
policy's not there.
Let's get the policy rolling. So all this talk on policy, you're actually cheering me up about this because I can see the potential and how I think common sense at some point has to prevail. So I'm feeling good. And
Great.
So thank you. I appreciate that part. But I would love to know more about like when you come to Pittsburgh, because you come here all the time, of the importance of our connection. Tell me about your trip now. You were just here. Tell me some of the key highlights of what got you fired up when you were here.
So one of the things that really got fired up, I was talking to both Pitt and to CMU.
Yeah.
And that's always uplifting. Talk to
I agree with you. Every time, it's easy to get down in the world, just like talk about things we are. But then whenever I've toured any lab at Pitt or at Carnegie Mellon, and you see what these women and men are working on, it's people are really solving tough things. So it makes me like, okay, there's hope.
Oh yeah. And so I talked to them, and we were talking this week when I've been here, we've been talking about the very thing that you and I were just talking about.
Yeah.
How do we come together? How do we make it bigger? How do we make it better and faster? And there's real interest, both on our part and on the part of the universities here, to do something like that. Because I think you say you're hopeful. Here's another thing we can be hopeful about.
Tell me, I like the hopefulness
so
here.
in the middle of a crisis, which we're in right now, you say, are there any positives coming out of this? Is there anything that we can pick up and say, there's a silver lining? And let me give you one. In the field of academia and research and technology research, we now have the motivation to do stuff that perhaps we should have been doing 10, 20 years ago. but didn't get around to it because there wasn't an overarching need to do it. Now there's a need to do it on both sides.
Okay.
We now have the motivation. All we got to do is seize the opportunity. It's right there in front of us. We don't have to work very hard for it.
Yeah.
And it's moving. So that was one of the inspirational things about being here, is just talking to the academic institutions and what we can do, how we can marry up Canadian academic and research institutes.
It goes back to that. By bringing these together, it just makes North America the leader for
100%.
all the innovation out there.
Absolutely. And we're talking about brain power and so on. We know the brain power works when you have the hardware. You have the software, but you need the hardware.
And here's the part where Tom is absolutely so much fun. And here's the part where Tom keeps going on more about not wanting to be in a tariff war.
We do not want to be here.
Oh.
We've got absolutely no interest in being in a tariff war with the United States.
Of all things, this is what you have to do.
We have
no
choice.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just so everybody is really clear on this. The moment, like the second, the nanosecond, then the tariffs are lifted on Canada, our retaliatory tariffs are over. They're
Absolutely.
done.
Yeah.
What we've got to do together is that we've got to talk about the president wants to achieve. He wants to be a superpower in energy. We're fine with that because we can help.
Yeah, last time I checked, you guys provide us with a lot of energy as well, too.
Yeah.
And we're friends. And
that's right.
I'm like, why would we not be able to? Yeah.
And so in all the things that the president wants to achieve, we have absolutely no disagreement with where he wants to go, but we're saying, God, give us a call because we can help out in literally everything that you want to do. Critical minerals. We've got all the critical minerals just 5 hours up the road.
And if you want to know more about what Tom thinks about Canada maybe being a 51st state of the United States, you got to keep on listening.
The 51st state stuff brought smiles because everybody thought this is so absurd and ridiculous that all you can do is laugh at it.
Yeah.
Here's what happened in Canada.
Okay.
It turned the country into a fire pit.
Yeah.
Canadians reacted.
No, it aligned the country to be like, it gave you more resolve than ever. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Canada more united ever before. And they all came behind the idea that, hey, somebody's threatening our country.
Totally.
And so Canadians got together, and right now, and these are the emotional reactions.
Completely. As you can tell, Tom brought a blast of positive energy to a really serious situation, but at the end of the day, he's making me very hopeful that we're going to get relationships normalized. We can get trade back to where it's supposed to be. And it's just an honor to be able to hang out and just bring this insight to you. I hope it did the same thing for you, laugh or two, but also make you realize that we're going to get through all of this and that there could be some really great stuff once we do. We just got to keep wading our way through it, and let's see what happens. Hey, I really appreciate you listening to the 10-Minute Tech Talks. Such an honor to have you as my guest listening in and hopefully learning something valuable that helps you build your business, helps you succeed, helps to keep you from failing. It's Jonathan Kersting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council. And if you want this content all the time, just follow us. It's as simple as that.